What's up, everybody? My name is Jesse, and welcome to the Jess Takes a Village podcast, where we focus on regular people who have used their education, whether it be formal, vocational, or life experiences, to propel their lives in a positive direction. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. So, if everybody who's tuning in, I need you to tune in extra special today. So, I just want to thank you guys first and foremost. You got to thank everybody, all 180 of you guys. I want to thank you guys just for subscribing. I want to thank you guys for the comments I've been getting on Instagram. I want to thank you guys for all of the support. I want to thank you guys for reposting the reels. And I especially want to thank you guys for following the Jess Takes a Village page and also my page, the Jess_got_game, which everything will be in the bio. So it's been 9 months since episode number 1. And I asked myself in this journey, what have I learned the most about this process? And I wouldn't lie to you, I have a whole newfound level of respect for everybody who sits in front of a camera and they do this. But I have a higher found level of respect for the people who take time out of their day to sit in the chair with me, to express different parts of their lives and their lifestyles, and for the people who just want to just sit down and open up. So for everybody who sat in the chair, present, past, and will soon come in the future, give yourselves a big round of applause. So, what's new and what's going on with everybody? I hope everybody has understood from episode 1 to now that we're just all different people just trying to figure it out in this thing called life. I hope everybody has learned from episodes 1 all the way up till now that there's always going to be a drink. I finally got a table for the podcast. But today I got a little bit of snacks, trying to eat a little bit healthier. Craisins. Oh, shit. Excuse my language. Even though I slept today, even though I don't think craisins are particularly that healthy. So as of now, we're kind of like in a weird transitional part of life. You know, the jobs we've had, the jobs we've seen, and the things we've experienced from tuning in and just paying attention to these guests. Now we're at that point of how can we take things to the next level. So if you're somebody who's currently working and you're trapped, and you ask yourself, what can I do to possibly make more money? What could I do to possibly become a better person? What could I do to typically focus more on my mental health? I got a list of steps for you. Step 1, if you, and I mean you, if you are currently not working, make that resume and apply. Now listen, it may seem overtly simple what I'm telling you, but I'm saying this for those who are not working. Step 1, just look for a job. Anything. If you got to go work at Chipotle, go work at Chipotle. If you want to go work at McDonald's, if you want to do retail, the only reason why I'm mentioning fast food and retail, those jobs are always hiring. It don't matter what you do for a living, but get into the habit of making some sort of income, right? Consistently. I'm not a financial guru. I'm not offering financial advice. I'm not soliciting anything. I'm only just saying, if you need work and you need to make a quick a little bit of money, go do retail, go do fast food. They're always hiring. Now, for those of us who have been at our jobs for years and we're not really seeing any growth, listen to me. Everything you need is on YouTube. YouTube, how to start a business, YouTube, what jobs are currently hiring, YouTube, these courses, study. We have the internet at our full disposal. So step 1, if you don't have a job, let's get you some income. Step 2, if you're already working and you kind of don't know where to go, just YouTube. And step 3, what I think is really gonna like into a lot of people's success, find a hobby. Find something to do to to pass time throughout the day. They say the devil's playground is boredom. Find something to do. You want to collect stickers, you want to go on walks, you want to try different kinds of coffee every Friday with your friends. Do something. Now, why do you think I'm mentioning find a hobby? Listen, this life thing is beautiful. It can be stressful, it can be full of heartbreak, it can be full of sorrow, but you kind of have to always include space for recreation and something that you yourself, like to do. because you don't want to just know yourself as the friend, the student, the worker. You have to figure out the same things that you yourself like to do, Don't lose yourself in this battle of, trying to be overtly successful. Because what's going to happen? You will get the success, the same things that you're praying for, but on the back end of it, you're probably going to be burnt out. I'm not telling you not to work hard. I'm only saying just find good time for occasional things. Have fun with this thing called life. Now, currently, as you guys know, I'm a teacher for the Department of Education. We're off for the summer. And I could have elected once again to stay home and we'll still get paid. But I said, listen, why not just work? So, I picked up a little something, work 8 to 12, come home. Something just to keep the mind active. Now, with that being said, I've had a list of guests who were retail, maintenance, probably had 3 artists, if you count my boy from 2 weeks ago who does clothing, a couple mural painters, who else? A banker, my mom, my sister, who else? One of my close boys. And it's just, coworkers. And I look at it as so many different people have sat in this chair. And there are just so many lessons to learn. Just because we see, or it appears to be, that when we look at other people, it looks like they're living their best lives, that it doesn't look like they're facing struggle. Sometimes it takes you having to literally tune in and sit on the chair with people and really just, understand where they're coming from in life. Everything will not always be peaches and cream. What I've learned personally is to not put a date on success. I'm 31 years old. I'm not going to say, by 35, I better be hitting the millions. It doesn't work like that. Everything is in good timing and good understanding, if you understand what I'm saying. So I say this to say, I started a platform. And in the midst of starting this platform, I told myself, how can I reach as many people that are just like me as I can? And I say, yo, you know what? We start a podcast. And I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in. I've gotten great receptions. Even some of you have even made requests, which I do soon hope to honor. I do hope to have more medical people who can give advice. I do hope to have more people who are in the physical fitness world to help teach you guys how to do certain exercises. Obviously more teachers, because there's nothing better than the teachers. More blue collar workers, for those who just don't want to sit down in a classroom and have to type these 12, 13, 14, 15-page essays, and then you're never going to read them again in life. I'm those people. And when we sit there and we look at the long scope of things, we ask ourselves, we're at this point in life. How do we get to here? Because life is always constantly moving. Currently in the world, we have countries who are going through war. We have countries who they don't have enough food. We have countries who are just suffering economically. And this is kind of like what I wanted to speak about today, about the blessings of living where we are. We don't have restrictions to do things like in other countries. You come here and you have the ability to work, your ass should be working. Pause. But you should be working, right? Oh, weak. But you should be but you should be working. If you have the means to work, you should be working. If you're between the ages, because I started working at 14 because I got my working papers. But if you're in between the ages of 18 to if you're from 18 and up, you should be working. You should not be home all day. You shouldn't even be working part-time, to be completely honest with you. Part-time is a luxury. Nowhere in life will you ever be able to wake up, go work a limited amount of hours, and try your best to achieve all of your goals. You got to put in way more work than that. Okay, fine. Everyone should be working because everybody has the opportunity to work. But what I'm also learning from a lot of the responses is a lot of people are suffering from job shame. I work here, and you don't really want to tell your friends what you do. Listen to me. If you got to clean toilets, there's nothing wrong with cleaning toilets. If you got to clean toilets to fund your dreams, clean them toilets. My boy always mentioned you got to use your 9 to 5 to fund your side hustle and let your side hustle become your main hustle, and you just got to kick that job away. Now, granted, we all won't be good at having side hustles. That's fine. But whatever you're doing for a living, you got to maximize it. If you're at a job and they tell you, listen, we'll pay you an extra $5 if you take 2, 3 classes, do it. Maximize that opportunity. If you have a job that says, hey, listen, we'll pay for you to go to school, my man, just take, or woman, take the opportunity and just run with it. A lot of us are stagnant, and I don't ever speak about others without mentioning myself. I was stagnant too. I was stagnant. There was a point 2015 I was not working. You understand what I'm saying? I was applying to job after job after job after job. But guess what? The world was very, very different 9 years ago than it is now. If you don't want to physically get up, you can work at home. All of these work from home jobs, they're flooded all over Indeed. Take that opportunity. Now, when you get this money, what should you do? Obviously, you tuck a little bit of something to save. But in retrospect, when you get this money, you got to kind of figure out ways to let the money work for you. Now, how do you go about that? I'm not a professional. I'll just give you some of the things I do. Now, being a teacher, obviously I have a big network too, a bunch of kids and kids with cousins, and you can promote yourself. I tutor. I tutor to make a little bit of extra money hourly. You understand what I'm saying? Every kid needs help with homework. That's a good hustle you could do. What's another one? I came from the Uber Eats world. I'm sorry, I had no problem being on foot, starting that car, or riding that bike to deliver food. Is it slow money? Yes. Do you have to sit there and put in a bunch of hours? Yes. But if you wake up and you're at zero and you come home and you made a little 50, 60, 70, 80, $90, that's $90 you didn't have. And if you keep that pace in motion, the money adds up. Listen, a hustle is a hustle and a grind is a grind, but a slow grind, ouch, a slow grind is way better than no grind, right? And they're just little things you can do. Everybody's vlogging, everybody's using the internet. Get you a camera, get you a laptop, and just get right. Now, granted, I don't know if you guys know, I don't shoot this podcast on no fancy camera. I don't have my own podcast studio. I'm in the living room. I'm in the living room right now. I'm in the living room using the iPhone 14. This shit is doable. I'm in the living room using the iPhone 14. Now, sometimes on a podcast you'll see like a bunch of plants. That room is right there. If you've ever seen early episodes, you'll see the bookshelf. That's right downstairs in the basement. And I plan on using the dining room table too. And if I wanted to, I could use the kitchen. You kind of got to make use of the space that you have. Like this work is not easy, but it's doable. For this podcast, let me take a sip. Jesus. For this podcast, I gotta stop dropping shit on the floor. For this podcast and all my podcasts, I am the editor. I make the reels. I'm the cameraman. I'm the audio man for the mic checks. And this is what you have to do. When a podcast first started, I'll give you guys a funny story. I had a very close friend who was supposed to do the audio work for me. And long story short, he got occupied and the times just didn't match up. So I had a problem. I had a bunch of microphones and I really didn't know how to use them. So I said to myself, what could I do? Lo and behold, I'm on TikTok and I see a girl and I want to get this right. What's the best way to put it? When you go out and like the different seasons, TikTok handle is Fragrance Shorty. She's the one who matches certain fragrances for certain seasons. Like it's some real different kind of methods, it's very, very interesting. So I just took a chance and I wrote her. I was like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, like, what mics are you using? I'm like, yo, they sound clear. Are they affordable? Yo, within 2 tools, she sent me the link. I went on Amazon, I bought the microphones. I didn't have a microphone problem anymore. But for the first maybe 7, 8 episodes, when you see me talking on a mic, it's because I told my parents upstairs, shh, don't make any noise. Like a lot of work goes into this. setting up, there's a bunch of furniture to my right. My right, your left. There's a bunch of furniture that way. But you'll never know, right? Because I try my best to make use of the space I have. And hopefully, I mean, the podcast is growing thanks to you guys. But it's like anything is possible once you really, really put your mind to it. And this is kind of like the lesson of this episode. This is the lesson of this episode today. Like, really try your best to just push forward. Use what's around you. My boy Mikey, who does the clothing for Piff, you see the new Piff gear, right? He did a tennis collaboration. He didn't have to go rent out a tennis court. He went to the local park. There are things that we can do to like get ourselves going. But how much of an effort are you going to make? Are you going to make excuses? Are you going to sit there and say, well, I don't have this and I don't have this? Focus on the things you do have. Listen to me. This camera quality is not the clearest because I'm not using a physical camera, but it works for now. And as I keep going, I'll keep adding on more and more and more things, Hopefully, I get the neon lights like everybody does, but, not right now. But I understand that when you're starting a brand new project, you can't just rush and just see success. You really have to put the work in and honestly, just take your time. It's a lot that goes into podcasting, but guess what? Do you know what funds the podcasting? The regular work that I have. I gotta get up every day and I gotta go to work and I gotta go teach children. The future kids, your kids maybe, and this is what I gotta do. And I gotta take the money from that, still put some away, still pay some bills, and use the rest to add on things for the podcast. Because this is my dream. And in order to fund my dream, I have to work. So that requires a little bit of sacrifice. Can we go out every day like before? Not really. We could. Is it smart? No. But we can't go out every day. That little bit of extra money, you put it into the podcast. And what does that mean? Let's say you want to come sit in this chair right here, but you live a little bit far away. I get the Uber for you. Because it means that much to me that you're sitting on this chair. I'll cover the Uber. You want to eat while we're doing the podcast? Order the food. You understand what I'm saying? My job is to make sure the person sitting here is as comfy as possible. Now, what you guys don't know is obviously there are things that we record on camera, but the conversations after the podcast are actually way more better than the podcast. But that's private between me and the guest. And sometimes you'll have people sit in this chair, and you know what the first thing they say is, well, Jess, like, why me? Like, I'm not really too special. And I tell them all the time, you are absolutely wrong. Everyone has a story to tell. Everybody has a starting point, a middle point, and an ending point. Everybody. Listen to me, there are different levels of success in life. Not everybody needs that monetary gain to feel successful. I know one of my boys, he just always wanted a family. And him finally marrying his girlfriend and having kids, that was his goal. And he's content. And this is the baseline. You got some people who they've been living in a packed room all of their lives, and their level of success is finally getting their own apartments. One of my close coworkers always wanted to lose weight. Always wanted to lose weight. And really took the time, dedicated himself, stuck it out, and the weight just fell off. Two of my coworkers actually. That's their level of success. Shout out Goldberg, shout out AWOL. But that's their level of success. How bad do you want to be successful? But it's not always about this. It's more so about this. How much do you want to focus on your dream? And always remember, every time you make an excuse, somebody else who's not making excuses is just going to keep leaping past you. Now, I'm not saying, hey, compare your life to others. No. But you know what I never understood? How is it people who come to this country who don't speak English would sit there, learn English for a year, sit there, go drive Uber, save that money, go to nursing school, become a nurse, then become a family nurse practitioner within 4 to 5 years' time. And the people here who have all the accesses to the resource don't want to do anything. And that, by the way, was a personal story. Because I actually know the person who did that. How is this possible? At what point are we going to just stop making excuses and just go for it? My boy Devontae always used to speak about research paralysis. You have some people who they want more for themselves, right? They want to sit there and they want to say, hey, I want to do this. I want to open up a business. I want to start a brand. And they sit there, they do all the research. 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, 6 months pass by and still nothing because you want to make sure everything is sharp. But the realities of it is this ain't gonna be sharp. It's a path. You understand? There has to be rocks and hurdles. You gotta fall down, scrape your knee before you even get there. I'll give you a funny story. My first podcast video, you notice the difference? The camera was up like this. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just did it. Now, the camera like this. And now when I edit it, I put the little background music, I put the closing music. And mind you, as an editor, I ain't shit. But I'm learning, you know? And with that being said, those are kind of like the sentiments that I would just want to leave with you guys today. Focus, try your best to try your best to want to achieve more. Just try. Give it an effort. Listen, if it does not work out, you tried. When you fall off the horse, you get back on the horse. You understand? I'm not rich. I make less than $100,000 a year. You know what I do every paycheck? I take $50, put it in the Roth IRA. I take another 50, put it in the investing account, and I keep that going. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Now let's say that you guys are like, yo, Jess, I don't got $50 after my paychecks. I don't got $40 after my paycheck. My man, take the $10 and put it away. Take the $10 and put it away. My mother always says, if you got a little bit to save, tuck it. A lot of us not gonna have a lot of money after we pay the rent, after we pay the mortgage, after we pay the electric bill because the AC been on all summer. That's fine. But do with what you got. Then if you need to work a second job, work the second job. Sacrifice counts. Maybe you can't buy sneakers this month. Maybe you can't buy new clothes this month. Maybe you can't get a haircut this month. I had to get a haircut yesterday. But that's neither here nor there. You got to push yourself towards something. Now, granted, sometimes when we can't figure it out, you got friends. What's the purpose of having all these friends if you can't go to any of them? Go to your friends. Bounce ideas off of them. Change up your networking circle. Figure it out. At this point, figure it out. Figure it out. Listen, I turned 30. Took a little bit of money. Not a little bit, a lot. Took about $800. I sacrificed and I paid for ring lights, phone stands, furniture, camera, all of that. Did I want to spend that money? No. Was it necessary? Yes. Because if I want to get this message out, it costs. And I'm giving you guys this message for free. The things that I'm doing, I would never, what am I charging y'all for? You understand what I'm saying? I'm giving the game. The same way every other coach sit there and they give theirs the game, I want to give you guys the game. Listen, you got to start somewhere. Try to make that money work for you. And if you can't, go old school. Put them quarters in a jar and have no shame. Everything adds up. And if you say to yourself, yo, I put away a little $1,000, a little $2,000, and you want to reward yourself, my man, book that flight. Book that flight and get up out of here. And as you go on vacation and you walk through the sand and you get your mind right, you tell yourself, first, you clap for yourself because you set a goal and you accomplished it. And second, you figure out a way to do it again. You figure out a way to build these good habits. If you want something in life, you have to have the good habits around it. Stop waking up late, y'all. Yeah, stop. Unless you work in the afternoon or you work from home, like those lazy people. That was a joke. But wake up early. Start your day right. One thing I do Saturday, I wake up early. I get everything I need to get done from 8 to 10, and then I got the whole day. But if you guys are waking up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, by the time you get yourselves together, it's 5 o'clock, and then you blink and it's 10:30 at night. There goes your whole Saturday. And Sundays is for family and cooking and football and baseball and all of that stuff. So you just lost the whole weekend. And then you got the Monday woes. you know? So listen, if I can impart you guys with just this bit of advice, focus. Try to make a little bit of extra money. Write a goal down. Try your best to achieve it and just leave a little bit of room for recreation. You know, listen, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a great 9 months. I got a big little surprise coming on month 12 for the anniversary. Maybe I'll even dress up because I know some of y'all been complaining. Oh, you got on short shorts and you always look so cozy. It's my house. I'll do what I want. But on a serious note, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for being a part of the village. Thank you guys for supporting the village and keep sharing them reels on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. My name is Jesse and it's just like that.